and welcome to another segment of Motivational Mondays with Donna. This week, I'd like to talk on the topic of God looks past your flaws. Now, there's so many of us that want to be able to do so many great things for the kingdom of God, but we feel that we're inadequate and that we would never be able to do anything good. You have to remember that all of you are God's masterpiece. He created you and He already knows what it is that you can be able to handle. Now, none of us are perfect, but God uses the unperfect people, especially the ones that believe that they're not worthy and that they can't do it, to be able to accomplish some mighty things. So I want you to get that down within your spirit, that you can be able to do surmountable things where God is concerned. And He's proud of you. And He's expecting you to be able to fulfill the commitments that He has lined up for you. Now, I want to give you some examples of some other people in the Bible that actually had flaws, but they wound up doing mighty things. We'll start with Moses. Moses had a speech impediment, and he was not comfortable with the way he was slow to speak. He was not good at public speaking, and that's something that really bothered him. And he talked about it constantly. And finally, God just had his brother Aaron become his mouthpiece. So whatever it is that Moses had to say, Aaron would speak for him. And we all know all the great things that Moses did in the Bible. Then I want to switch over to a female, Rahab. Rahab, her biggest fault was that she was a prostitute, and she was also a liar. But she was just one of four women that wound up being in the line of Jesus' genealogy. You know, she actually helped hide the spies that Joshua had sent over to be able to scout out Jericho. And she kept them safe and then was able to tell them which way to go. And eventually they were able to leave the city and then come back after they reported to Joshua and able to destroy Jericho for what it is. Now, Rahab actually wound up becoming the mother of Boaz, who had married Ruth. And they had a son named Obed. And Obed had a son named Jesse. And Jesse was also the grandfather of King David. So that's just how deep that went. But Rahab did a tremendous feat with what she did. And she was able to execute her mission that God had for her, even though she was a prostitute and a liar. And then we have Gideon. Gideon had so much insecurities and doubts that God actually had to send an angel to come and talk to him and let him know, Gideon, you're a mighty man of valor. And once that got down within his spirit, he was able, with the grace of God, to destroy the army of the Midianites. So don't think that you may not be tall enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not educated enough, you have speech impediments. Don't let any of that stop you from doing and completing the assignments that God has for you, because you are good enough just the way you are right now. Now, we always end our segments on gratitude. And there was a gentleman by the name of Fred DeWitt Van Amberg. And he was an author of several inspirational and motivational books, and also the editor of The Silent Partner, which years ago was a monthly magazine regarding inspiration and human interests. And he had this to say about gratitude. Gratitude is a currency that we can mint for ourselves and spend without fear of bankruptcy. Think about that. That's really, really powerful, guys. So remember, God looks past your flaws and just go and do the great things that God has for you. He has equipped you with everything that you need. And remember gratitude. It is the most powerful thing to be able to catapult your life. Have a great week. Talk to you next week.